Moss won me over instantly thanks to its adorably cute and to-scale mouse heroine, DualShock-fueled precision controls, and charming world design that lets you exist as a human-sized guiding hand inside a rodent-sized world. And outside of minor technical annoyances with PSVR itself, it never erased that initial joy when its literal storybook ending came 4 hours later. Quill, the adorable mouse heroine whom you control with the DualShock, can move, jump, attack with her sword, and interact with things such as levers. She even has a couple of timing-based attack combos that elevate the fighting above simple button mashing, though you'd never mistake Moss's combat for, say, Bloodborne's. You'll face a few different enemies during the adventure, and while they're never particularly dangerous individually, things get enjoyably hectic when their numbers start piling up and the various enemy types attack you simultaneously. The combat accounts for about half of the gameplay, with environmental puzzles making up the rest. You, as the human-sized reader, also have an orb you can use to manipulate select objects like platforms and even enemies. As Moss's gameplay ramps up, you'll eventually have to battle several enemies at a time while also using the right stick and trigger to puppeteer something else in the world as well, which is like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. The same goes for the environmental puzzles, which start simple but peak at near head-scratching levels. That difficulty progression is as steady as it is smart. You're never thrown straight into a fire. You'll always warm up in a frying pan first. Moss's use of scale and 360-degree immersion is key to its charm and appeal. Sure, it could work on a television, but being able to look around its mouse-sized set pieces from up high or put your face right down next to Quill's never wears out its welcome. Looking up at the forest's tall trees and down at the tiny medieval-style architecture makes me feel like a benevolent Gargamel peering down into the Smurfs' village. Moss's only real annoyances are technical in nature. I often had to reset my calibration, and the PlayStation camera's field of view is limited enough that I was sometimes unable to reach over to interact with something that looked accessible. Moss's simple story of rescuing Quill's uncle from a tormenting evil force isn't its most enjoyable aspect, but it works. I like that you're reading a living storybook from inside a cathedral between chapters, and the audiobook-style presentation by a talented voice actress kept me interested.
Argus charged back to join the Sprite Champion at the Mire's Edge.
You won't find a ton of world building, however, and the story doesn't so much conclude as simply assume there's going to be a sequel to continue the tale. And I hope that there is. For more great PSVR games, check out our review of Super Hot VR and Super Hypercube.